Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Stedman. I'm the co-op manager for the Brantford and Milton campuses, and I'm here today to talk about the co-op program offered through User Experience Design. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of how co-op works at Laurier, really it's an opportunity for students to gain hands-on practical work experience in your field of study. So the user experience design co-op program is still quite small, but there are opportunities for students to work one-on-one with co-op staff who are able to review your resume, your cover letter, provide some interview preparation, and also do some portfolio review with you as well, just to ensure that you are bringing your best foot forward when you're out there marketing yourself to employers. And the structure of the program, so students in the UX program complete 6 academic terms before going out on your first 12 to 16-month block work term. So this is what the work term sequence looks like. So the entry portal to co-op is the beginning of third year, so that 3A term. And then students will be actively seeking jobs from the midpoint of the fall term all the way through till the end of the winter term. And then in spring, right at the end of third year is when you'll start your 12 to 16-month work term, and then return to full-time classes at the beginning of fourth year in the fall. So this program is competitive entry. So there are a few criteria that students will need to be mindful for if co-op is on your radar. So the admission process is completed in September. Every point of the third year. So this is the only entry point for user experience design students. And it's important to highlight the deadline this year. So the admission deadline will be September the 4th. So we have all of that information outlined on our website if you wanted to take a look at it at a later time. So some of the requirements for admission to user experience design co-op. So students again must be at the beginning of third year, must have an overall GPA of about a 7.0, must have completed at least 10 credits and a maximum of 14 credits, must have completed a series of core UX courses in first and second year, and those are also outlined on our website. Must be registered full-time in third year courses at the beginning of third year, and must be able to maintain full-time status throughout your time in the co-op program and even into fourth year as well. So some of the considerations that we take into account when we're looking at students through competitive entry, we look at the overall GPA, we look at performance in the interview, we look at the quality of the portfolio. So this is all assessed by faculty. And we look at your paid work experience from grade 12, first year and second year of university, and also your volunteer and extracurricular activities over that same time period from grade 12, first year and second year. So some of the benefits of being in the co-op program, it's an opportunity for students to gain um, insight into what the user experience design field is all about. So there are lots of different areas that students could go into, whether it be the design side, whether it be the research side, whether it be something in front end web development or graphic design. These are all things that students could potentially get exposure to while in the workplace, especially over a work term duration of 12 to 16 months. That's a long time to really dig in and complete a lot of long-term projects. I mean, while you're working, it's a great opportunity for you to apply all of these skills that you're essentially learning from day one in the user experience design program. And plus, you're also working with a lot of professionals in industry as well. So you're developing these contacts and this developing a network. You're going to graduate with a full year to 16 months of paid employment experience, which is all a significant springboard into future employment after graduation. So some of the salaries that students are earning. So this table provides a range of the average salaries that we see in industry, and some of the highest wages as well are also listed here. So as you can see from this table, industry, is quite different in terms of what they're paying. So especially in public service, I mean, there is more of a tiered type of pay structure where at the end of each semester, the pay increases. Whereas maybe in private sector, the wages it may be a little bit higher, but would stay a little bit more stable over the course of that 12 to 16 month work term. So once students are admitted into the co-op program, everybody's admitted into co-op fundamentals. So this is essentially an employment readiness program that's broken into 8 modules. So some of the things that we focus on are mainly resume, cover letter, job search techniques, interview skills, portfolio review and refinement and development. These are all things that co-op students would need to complete to 100% before moving forward into their co-op term. So while students are going through co-op fundamentals, there's also speaker series events, and everybody is required to attend at least 4 over the fall and winter terms. And there's also opportunities to have one-on-one appointments with your consultant as well. So, if there are specific things that you want to be talking about your goals or your job search or anything that you'd like to discuss, your consultant is available to meet with you and discuss any of these things. So the job posting process for user experience design co-op students always starts in November. So we do an early round of recruiting, and then we have a primary round that happens in January, and then our ongoing continuous round begins in February. So there are a few different points when students are able to be applying for jobs and competing through the recruiting process to hopefully secure that 12 to 16 month role that begins at the beginning of May. Um, so so the interview period, is more open in November, and it functions on a rank match in January, and then we move back to an open recruiting period that happens in February as well. So once students have secured employment, we have several checkpoints in place. So if a student is on a 12 to 16 month work term, that's broken down into semesters. So there will be 3 or 4 work term visits that would be conducted at the midpoint of each semester that we would do. And these are routine. We'd meet with you, we'd meet with your supervisor, just really making sure that everything's going okay. We also love to hear about all of the cool projects that you're working on as well. So that's a great opportunity to be showcasing those things. Um, for the UX design program, we have a work term report presentation that students will complete at the end of their work term. And I have guidelines that I will forward through to everybody with enough lead time to be able to connect with your supervisor and make sure that you've got some time to do that presentation and review it with them before the deadline. And then there are employer evaluations, and these are going to be done at the end of each semester. And every student in the program needs to achieve at least a satisfactory on their performance evaluation that's done with their manager in order to proceed in the program. So, some of the considerations that you'll want to take into account. So, there is a financial commitment to being in the co op program, and this is in the form of co op fees. So, the fee structure for user experience design is a payment in the fall once students are admitted into the program. And then there's a double payment that students would make in the winter term. And then at the beginning of the spring term, students would begin their paid employment, and they would just proceed through for those 12 to 16 month time period without any further fees being assessed. These fees are currently assessed at about $900 per term, but this number does change every July. So we keep our website updated on what the current fees happen to be, if that's something that you're curious about. There also is the possibility of relocation. We have a Navigator job board where we're posting job opportunities, and students have the opportunity to choose which jobs they would like to be applying to. So, if you're focusing on roles that are in Ottawa or in various parts of Canada, that's entirely your choice. But if there is an in-office component to that role and you end up securing it, then there will be a need for you to relocate to that area um, uh, so that you can end up being in the office, on those dates and honor that commitment. So there also is no guarantee of employment. So everyone is competing for jobs. Everyone's applying with a resume, a cover letter, and performing in interviews and reviewing the portfolio with the interviewer. So it's up to the employer to choose which candidates they would like to make job offers to. So for those of you who are super active on campus, I mean, this is great. However, there are certain periods of time while in co-op where you're not able to to attend everything. So there will be a need to balance. You're managing a full-time course load. There will be job postings where you need to customize your cover letter and your resume and continuing to refine your portfolio. And then there will be interviews that you'll need to prep for. So certainly there will be a need to balance a lot of your priorities at certain periods of time. So geographically speaking, this is where students are working currently. So this just shows that the majority of jobs that we posted this year happen to be within the Greater Toronto Area, but we also post jobs in Ottawa. There are lots of opportunities that the federal government has available. We also post jobs in southeastern Ontario, and that other, which is that 5% slice, could be any other catchment location, like students working internationally. So, but this does change every year. But what is fairly consistent is that the largest slice of pie will probably be within the Greater Toronto Area, or at least that's been the way it has been over the past 5 years or so. In terms of industries that we post in, government always has a robust need for user experience design students, but we also have students working in finance, the financial sector, which is banks, um, technology, communications, healthcare, insurance, like all of these areas, tend to be represented each year. But again, it does change. And then here is just a snapshot of some of the organizations that we have worked with in the past and have students working at currently. So again, this list changes quite frequently every year. We always have new organizations that are coming in to recruit co-op students, and we're out marketing the program on a regular basis and trying to bring in new opportunities for students as well. So I hope this information was helpful. Here's all of my contact information. If there are any questions that arise from any of the content I presented today, please don't hesitate to reach out. But I thank you very much for your time and take care.